for those of you that haven't seen me before, my name is Joe Schneider, and I'm a candidate to represent the Republican Party in the congressional election this year against Seth Moulton. Just a little bit about my background. I was born in Romania, emigrated to the United States when I was 12 years old. A few weeks after I became a citizen, I entered West Point. Upon graduation, I served as an airborne ranger, paratrooper, and Green Beret in the U.S. military.
Wow.
I then went to Harvard Business School and the Kennedy School of Government. I became an entrepreneur, built a company that I sold to a division of General Motors about 10 years later. And after that, I started a consulting company in the area of security, national defense, and been advising aerospace and defense company and the Department of Defense on security issues. This year, I decided that the country's going in the wrong direction, and that unless we change track, we're going to end up a lot more like a socialist or a banana republic country in terms of our demographics, so we have to make a major change to our political system. So I have a plan of how to do that, so I decided to throw my beret into the ring and compete for the seat in Massachusetts to represent the people of the 6th Congressional District and represent their interests and fight for their interests as opposed for the special interests that today control and receive most of the benefits from our society through the political process. So that's more or less my platform is fairly simple. You know, I'm out to eliminate and reduce the very divisive nature of politics, that people just take very extreme positions and argue on the end but don't find solutions. So we focus on finding solutions, which is what I've done my entire life, is find solutions. That's why people have hired me, to help find solutions. I think we can find solutions to almost all of our problems, like healthcare. There's no reason that we should pay twice as much as any civilized country and not cover everybody. We should join the rest of the civilized world, reduce the cost of our healthcare, make it universal, and it's doable. And it's not doable with the Bernie Sanders, managed care and Medicare for all, which is socialism, and it's rationing healthcare. There are lots of approaches pioneered by Harvard Business School and other institutions of how to reduce it, but the current political system is so rigged that it doesn't allow better solutions for American people. So that's why you pay exorbitant prices for drugs, so many different procedures, etc. So we can fix healthcare, we can fix many of the problems that we have in our society if we approach it from the idea that a democracy is for the benefit, it has the consent of the governed, and it should be for the benefit of the people. And we still have the vote, and our vote is our strongest weapon to reclaim our economic and our prosperity for all Americans. So that's my message, and I'm really proud to represent the Republican Party, because it is the Republican Party which still has ideas, still has values. It's not a party that's controlled by vested interests and by special interests like our opponents. And if you look how they are and what they vote for and what they pursue, it's all about power, and it's all about advancing their own, feathering their own nest, not taking care of the people. They give the people shibboleths, and they give you words and platitudes, but they don't deliver results. So wherever the Democrats rule, there's poverty and there's misery that follows. So we can't let that happen in our society, and Massachusetts needs to send a representative to Washington that represents the interests of the people, not the interests of the elites and the party. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you taking any questions?
Yes,
Please.
questions?
If you were to win this and beat Seth Moulton, would you be supporting President Trump and everything that he's doing?
I believe, I would say this much, I did not vote for President Trump. I did not vote for Hillary either. However, I like a lot of the things that President Trump and his administration has done. I think, he's doing the right thing for the country in so many ways. So whenever there are issues that will benefit, unlike the Democrats that oppose everything, when the administration and the president does things, it proposes things that will benefit us, like tax cuts, peace, the peace or the elimination of ISIS or things like that, then I would support him and I would fight 100% for him. If there are things that they do or that he proposes that are not in the interest of the people of this district, I will stick up for the interest of the people of this district. I'm not going to be there as a rubber stamp. If you want a rubber stamp, there's a rubber stamp in Washington today for this district. Unfortunately, it's a rubber stamp for the other side. So I think the people need to have a representative that first and foremost cares for the interest of the people of the district, not for the interest of, some party or some special interest that gives them money and things like that. So if you want a representative that will fight for your benefits, then I am your person. If you're looking for someone that's going to follow someone else's lead and someone else's path or someone that gives them money, then I'm not that person. Yes.
Donald Trump is really against sanctuary states, sanctuary cities. How do you feel about that?
I think first and foremost, we're a nation of laws. If people do not like the laws, they have a right to try to change it. But once the laws are on the books, they have a duty and a responsibility to obey those laws. So this idea that the laws are a smorgasbord and you can pick whichever ones you like and oppose whichever ones you don't like is a path to destruction of our society. People cannot pick and choose which laws they like and which laws they don't like. We have a mechanism for changing the laws. And on top of that, this whole idea of illegal immigration that is being promoted by certain political elements for their own political benefit will destroy America slowly but surely. I just came from California, and in California there are entire cities and rows of people living just like they live in India on the street. So the demographics of California are slowly resembling the demographics of El Salvador or Guatemala. We have a small sliver of very rich people and a whole bunch of poor people that tend to the needs of the rich people. But that's what California is becoming. And in the meantime, because of the census, whether they're voting or not voting, they're getting more and more congressional representation. Because everyone that lives in that society, or in that, whether they're illegal or illegal, are measured in the census. So we already lost a congressional seat. We're going to lose another congressional seat in the next census to California. That's the result for us of illegal immigration. So we can be all we want for be compassionate for whatever you want, but we're giving away our political power when we do that. So we have to recognize that that's what's happening, and if we're prepared to do that, fine, vote for the Democrats, because they're going to give away your power in Washington.
One more question?
Our educational system is falling apart. A lot of it is because of Common Core. The President has a new Secretary of Education who's trying to reverse something. How do you feel about it?
I think education is one of the major problems, it's one of the greatest strengths of America and one of the major problems in America. And we have an educational system that for the most part does not educate our young children for the kind of skills that are necessary to be successful in the future. We have an educational system that's still predicated on a concept that was 100 years ago when we entered the industrial age and we needed workers to work in industrial plants, on assembly lines, etc. So you need a certain skill set, and high school education got you there. The kind of jobs that are in the future are different jobs. All the jobs of the last century in assembly lines going to be done by machines that can do it, or even jobs at McDonald's. Machines are going to do it for $3 to $4 an hour, which no person can live on. So all these jobs are going to be automated. To be prepared for the future, you need a different skill set. And our education system, the way it has grown up and has ossified teachers' unions And, the government involvement does not deliver the results that we need. So we need to change that. And there's lots of propositions out there to change it. The most obvious one, if you look back at the strengths of America, which is individualism and distribution of power, the education system has to go back and the decisions have to be made at the local level because the local level know what's best for their own students. So I think a lot of the initiatives of the government that President Trump is doing, I think they're all in the right direction, but the political system is very ossified, and unless we are able to change that, and Congress has a role in supporting that. And so, yes, I am in favor of that. That's a long way of saying that I am definitely in favor of that, and that is one of my priorities. It is changing the education system because it's not addressing what we need. And I have grandchildren.
Very good. We'll have more questions afterwards. Maybe you can ask more questions after Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we can afterwards. There'll be time, I think. Jim, would you like to come up and say a few words or many words? Is it Jim McMahon? Jay. Jay, I'm James too. You're Jay. Why is that?
My father, everybody, my father was Jim, my grandfather was Jim, and my mother said, we're gonna break the confusion right here. Call this kid Jay. That's how that happened.
It doesn't bother me, it's interesting.
I like your mother.
Well, thank you everybody for inviting me here. It truly is a